Well, hello, hello, hello. I nearly forgot what the time was. I'm so busy chatting in the chat on YouTube. Ida, who is Crafty I Am, is in the house. We have Steph. We have Karen Oppett. Let's just see who else. We have Melanie, Teresa Milne. Yeah, we have lots of you. So hello, hello, hello. Nice to see you here. And the chat in YouTube was already going before we went live. So nice to see you all. It's been a long time since I've done a live. Sarah, I think, is busy packing all the orders, or recovering from packing all the orders. Hello, Hannah. Are you using vintage ink for your Valentine's card? Nice, nice to know. So, I did put it in the chats earlier, but I'm going to copy and paste again quickly because there is a special on two sets of things. So Sarah has given or put together a collection, and this one on my desk is called Ropey Bundle. I'm just popping that in the chat now, so you can, if I know, well, you should be able to either click on the link or copy and paste the link, or if you go to Sarah's website. So let me just show you. On Sarah's website, there is, so let's do the Ropey overlay. So on the website, if you go to sales, so if you look from the left, we have home, shop, new arrivals. If you click on sale, you will then be able to click on the different bundles. So you can see that the Ropey bundle is down from £32.97 to £20. So that is for all three. So that is for the stencil, the embossing folder, and the die. Then we have the vintage ink core collection. So that is the 2 A5 stamp sets and the paper pad, and that is a whopping saving, down from £48.97 to £30. And if you belong to join the newsletter, so often when you're on the website, even if you've belonged to it, this pop-up will pop up. Just if you belong to the newsletter, just, click it away. But if you don't belong to the newsletter, you are missing out, because this special deal was already advertised at the beginning of this week, and this deal is available until the end of Sunday. So, I just thought I would show you that. Hannah already owns both. I know. So it's just, some things are worth owning both. I wanted to start off by working through these few things first. Then we're going to look at the stamps and the papers, and I'm going to make a couple of Valentine ideas. Hi, Donna. Hi, Helen. Hi, Lynn. Thanks for popping in. If you are on Facebook and I'm not seeing your messages, hop on over to YouTube, because everybody seems to be over on YouTube, but it's Funky Fossil Designs Facebook group. Hi, Kerry. So yes, thank you for being here. I have done some preparation, as I always like to do, and I'm going to start by showing you this stencil idea. So I have used the Stella Paste Icicle Dreams. It's this delicious turquoise. You can see mine's getting finished. I need to put in another order. And what I did is I stenciled onto just normal white cardstock through the stencil with the Icicle Dreams. When it was dry, I then used my scissors around the outside and a craft knife around the inside to get this cut out. And then I inked over the top with just normal black soot distress. And then I took my tool, and you can see that's why it's dirty on the back, because I was then trying to get rid of the white core that you could see of the paper, because I work on 300 GSM. So I didn't want to see the core. So that's why I have then inked it. And then I inked just generally over the top. And then I took black pencil crayon, and you can use Tim's watercolor distress, and I then added shadows where I wanted to make it look like the rope was going underneath. So if you want to knock something back, push something back, you make it dark. If you want it to look like it's coming forward, you make it light. So the easiest way to do this was to add some more black on the sides that I wanted it to look like it was going underneath. So that's just a different way of using a stencil. I mean, traditionally we use ink through a stencil, we use these gorgeous pastes through a stencil, but we use it on a page, and that's it. You know, it's one of the layers that we are using. So I didn't use black card. No, I used white cardstock and then inked and colored it. So hi Selena, hi Amanda, hi Brian, guten Abend, wie geht's? Wie geht es Ihnen? So I'm just saying good evening to Brian in German, because his mother was German, and I'm asking him how he is. So hi Isabel. So that is how I created this. And now it's a layer that I can add on top of something. Is that paste giving the shimmery look? Yes, it is glitter. It is a glitter paste. So that is what is making it shimmer, Ida. Yes, it is the most delicious shimmery paste. And Sarah has these pastes mixed up specifically for her. This one has turquoise and silver in it. So it is a combination. It's not just turquoise. That's why it's called Icicle Dreams. So she, no, it's not your screen. It is shimmering. So I'm going to pop that on one side. So that's just a fun way, which I'm going to use later, to use your stencil. So this one is part of the set. Then we have this die. So now this die comes with these two pieces, which cut the outside, and then this piece. So it is actually packaged differently. And you can see what I've done here is I have got some low tack tape that I have got holding my two dies together, and that is so that I can repeatedly make the same distance, through my die. What I do suggest, if you are wanting to make something like this, because it is a 2-part die and these, or 3-part, and these move, I suggest you first cut your hole in the holes in the paper. Okay, so you're going to cut that. So that is using this die. So you can just cut the holes in the paper. Okay, so that is usable absolutely as it is. And then once you now want to cut this part out, this is where what I do. And if I want a backing, like I've done on this one, I put the two pieces of paper together. So say I wanted my backing to be this color, I put it behind like that when I'm going to run it through the machine. Oh, now this has come apart because that's just, that's what happens when you're live. All the plans of mice and men, because now it's gone and stuck itself to the double-sided tape on the packaging. So I would then have my two layers together, and I would pop my outside piece where I want it, and then I'm going to pop my inside piece where I want it, and I'm going to die cut them at the same time, because if you try and do them separately, they will never line up perfectly because this will have shifted. Does that make sense? So Sarah keeps coming out with more colors. Yes, she does keep coming out with more of these delicious colors. I have the gold on my desk. I have, yeah, she used to sell them in sets of 2, but now she sells them separately. And sorry, backtracking to this because I can see what's in the chat. If the most used color is this Starlight, it's basically the clear with the most delicious holographic glitter in it. And that's the one that comes in the bigger one. All the others come in the smaller one. And as with everything, people, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. So just make sure that you check on these things and make sure that they are sealed and yeah, just use them. So back to this discussion. You won't ruin it, Hannah. I'm sure it will look absolutely perfect. So what I'm going to suggest you then do is you then use fresh low tack tape and you run it through your machine like that. Okay, with both layers of paper at the same time, because then you will land up with a perfectly matched rope. And you can see on this one, so let me get out my other samples. So there's one that I've just done on its own, and this is one that I ran with the background and the rope at the same time, which is what I was just discussing. And here you can see where I have added shading and where I have not. Excuse the pun, around the knot, the knot. I have not added shading around the knot. So here where I want this piece to look like it's going underneath, I have added shadow. So can you see that? Yes, Donna, it has, you can make the layers. So you can have it, I love this die because I find it incredibly versatile. In fact, I even have used this as a stencil. So you can do this and use it as a stencil on its own. So you can make your own stencil. If you need to see through the stencil, which is what I've done before, I've actually run myself a piece of vellum. And then you'll be able to see exactly where you're placing it over something. So say you're wanting to do it over a piece of paper that's already printed or already stamped, then I wanted to be able to see through. So I've made my stencil with vellum. You then also have a mask. So I keep the inside pieces that fall out of this, and then you can have a mask. You can see that I've used it for that. So it really is the most versatile die on the face of this planet, in my opinion. So then, yes, you could just use this ring bit for something, or you could just use the rope bit, or you can layer it up and ink it up like that, and then you have a very dimensional piece. So that is all about the die. Let me pop this away before I lose it. Where are all my bits and pieces? I'm going to just pop them in here, just so that they all stay nice and tidy together. This is actually my folder that I have all my masks in. So you can see I have the heart and I have this that I'm using for the masks, and that's where these belong as well. So when I'm looking for my dies later, I'll pop it on Facebook or YouTube and everybody will say, you put it in your masks folder. Yes, thank you. Because you know I live in a Bermuda Triangle of my own creation. Yes. People are talking about this signature wallet that flew out the door the other day. There is still some of the stock of the signature, crumbs, now it's gone out my head, the lovely one with the heart and so on. Those papers are still available, so you can still get some of it, you just can't get the wallet. Yes, Lynn, the glitter pastes, these pastes are lovely because they also don't, it's not like normal glitter, it's not loose glitter, so it's not going to shed anywhere. That's the other reason why I like this. So, right, now we're going to move on to this embossing folder. So my embossing folder is, well, let's be honest, I haven't washed it since I did the last sample, and it got a little bit stained from doing this sample because I used ink inside my embossing folder. So this is what the embossing folder will look like if you just emboss ordinary paper, like white paper. And because it is such a dimensional embossing folder, I always suggest, especially when you're dealing with thick paper, so this is 300 GSM aquarelle cardstock, watercolor cardstock. And I first mist the paper on both sides before I run it through my embossing folder. And then you are guaranteed not to have paper cracking, and you're also going to soften the fibers of the paper enough so that you can get this delicious raised, gorgeous design. Lynn, I really should wash it. Because yes, otherwise the next time I use it, I'm going to have it, it's going to be dirty. But so what I have done on this is I have inked the inside of my embossing folder. So applied the ink like you're going to apply an ink to a stamp. And then with this one, I then shaded and colored on top. So this was my VersaFine Clear. So VersaFine Clear is permanent, and you can use alcohol. So your 90% and higher isopropyl alcohol will clean it almost perfectly. You might, if you've got the lower percentage alcohol, you might need to clean it a few more times. But I find I have actually the 99% isopropyl alcohol. Say that fast after a few drinks. That's what I use to clean the stencil. But I have since done the speckled egg oxide, and that's what this is, with absolutely no added shading or anything. So I'm checking the chat, but it's moving quite quickly. And I see we have Sarah in the house. Hi, Sharon. Yes, so oh, excuse me. Yes, I've just come back from America, and unfortunately, I don't know, caught something dastardly on the plane, but I'm fine now. So this is just straight inked and pressed, and then this one you can see I have then taken my black soot distress over the top. And I have, again, specifically gone in a little bit darker in certain places to make the rope look like it is undulating. So I didn't clean my embossing folder because I wanted to show you how I did this. So I need a clean piece of paper. And I have got this cut slightly smaller than my embossing folder because I've got a 6x6 cardstock piece that I want to mat on. Okay, so I've already cut it to size, and as I suggested earlier, I am going to, let's just do the push back and clear desk number. I'm going to lightly mist my paper. So this is one of those lovely water bottles that you can use at any angle, and it has a nice fine mist with a couple of big droplets in it, but that's, so you're not wanting to drown it, you're just wanting to damp your paper. Okay, and then I'm just gonna clean my desk having done that. I'm then going to add my oxide directly to my embossing folder. So I'm going to give it a good old squash and a squeeze. And try and just make sure that it has got everywhere. Hopefully I haven't missed anywhere. And then just to make sure that it's liquid enough, I'm going to give it a light misting with the water as well. Pop my paper in, and I want the smooth side down, and I'm going to try and center that. Not that it really matters, it's wiggly ropes anyway. Now, different machines need different settings, and I put my sandwich, I have the old Sizzix, and I put that down, and then I just need the thicker plate. This is an old Cuttlebug plate that works, and I'm going to run that through my Vagabond on the side. I have all my other plates sitting in the way, so we're just going to zoom it through the machine and trade places with the things. There we go. And open it up. And there we have it. So the easiest way to clean this now is just with some water and with some paper towel. So obviously if I had used a permanent ink, I would be using alcohol. I'll do a better job of cleaning that later. So there you have it. Now I have twinsies. Every time you do it, it's going to look slightly different, but it's just a really easy way to make the embossed area pop out without much effort at all. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of, this is the dry one, so I'm going to work on the dry one because this one, the paper is still damp. If I want to create the idea of dimension, I'm going to add a little bit of drop shadow just with a pencil crayon, and I'm not even really coloring too specifically or carefully. I'm just going to add a little bit of color in places on the background where I want it to look like there is some shadow play. So if you've ever watched any of my lives before, you'll know that I always like to have the light from the right, which is why I've got the shadows at the bottom over here. So I can do a little bit of shading on the rope over there, same on this side here. And there would be some shadow under there. There would be some shadow over here. I'm not even really getting too terribly complicated. I just want to give it some dimension. Okay, that's probably enough. Let's do a little bit more over here. So you can see I'm working quite quickly. And I'm going to call that done. And now I'm going to take this piece that I had prepared, and that is going to go over the top. But first I need to ink my edges. So what pencil am I using, Lynn? It is a Lyra Rembrandt Aquarelle. So I could actually take a little bit of water on my water brush and soften it. So I'll just show you, you can use the Tim Holtz watercolor. So let's just check that this is clean, because sometimes I'm naughty and I don't put it away clean. And you can actually just soften that pencil out. So this is why I like watercolor pencil crayons, because I mean it looked absolutely fine with what I had done just as the pencil. But now with my water brush, and you can just use a normal brush with a bit of water on it, so you could just dip into a water jar. It doesn't have to be one of these easy squeezy types, but for me it definitely makes it look more dimensional when you add the water. because then you don't see the pencil scratches. There we go. One last bit up there at the top, and I can take that up there. So, I mean, already the embossing folder is so dimensional, and then it just becomes wow in my mind. And now we can put that on top of that. So we have the two looking very dimensional, and I'm going to just ink this edge and ink all the way around because I'm an inky girl. And then I'm going to ink around this edge to link it up. And yes, Sarah has delicious brushes, but for doing edges, I really like the applicator tool. If I'm stenciling, I for sure use Sarah's gorgeous brushes. So there we go. Look at that. We have an instant card. Ta-da! Maybe I should glue that. So let me glue this in place. And I was using this earlier, and why is it now blocked? These things never block. That's why I like it on my desk. Maybe it needs more glue. Or maybe it just needs to have its lid on. It has a needle in the lid, and of course, there we go. Whoops. Let's do that. Should work now. There we go. Otherwise, I will knock it off my desk and I'll be looking for all the pieces at the end. So it's just a really quick and easy way to do a background for anything, really. So pop that down. You're trying to use shadow for more impact, but I get worried about getting overzealous. Well, then just add more highlights. I think shadows make the world of difference. Funky Fossils, is the group private? I don't want to post hubby's Valentine's card if he'll be able to see it. That is a good question. I think it might be. I will have to double check that. So now I'm going to put glue everywhere because I'm putting it on top of the embossed cardstock. So now I'm going to pop that there. And I'm going to put it up slightly because I probably want to come and put a little sentiment over there. So there we go. One card front done. Sarah says it is a private group. I thought so. Dankeschön, Brian. Dankeschön. So there we go. One quick and easy card front done using the stencil and the embossing folder. Now we're going to go and play with my stamps and papers. So it's called Vintage Ink, and the stamps were inspired by a vintage tattoo artist, Sailor Jerry. So if you Google Sailor Jerry, we all know that our Brian loves Sailor Jerry, and he had very much this style, and I loved it. And when Sarah and I were discussing doing vintage style, I chose his to be inspired by. Cereza, it is tough, I knew. So then they're all chatting about highlight crafts. You can see my lovely bird on my set. Yes, there are two birds, in fact. When I originally drew this, I had the birds holding the banner, and then Sarah came up with the clever idea of taking the birds off separately, so you can it's more versatile, because you can have then the birds holding the heart, or the birds holding the banner, or just one bird. It's entirely up to you. So I don't think I have a full paper pad here, but there are 3 of each design, and there are 12 different designs in the paper pad. And this one, for some bizarre reason, got glued in sideways. Not that it matters, because, you know, we're going to pull it out of the pad and either cut it out or use it as it is. But just know that when you're glancing through the paper pad, you're not mad. It is sideways. These things happen. So this is what I was talking about earlier. If you have an image that you want to be able to stencil around, that is why I then did it through see-through paper. So I die cut the paper so that I could then just stencil that image around there. Your birds are kissing. Oh, cute. Or about to collide, one or the other, Hannah. Yes, hopefully not collide on a Valentine's. So there's a lovely selection of big designs, small designs. This is a repeat of the stamp, which is again a same design as that. So when I'm designing papers and stamps, I like everything to link up. So hello, Lynn. Don't worry about being late. You can always watch it back, because, you know, it all gets saved, and you can. So Lynn's saying you can't reorder vintage patchwork. The paper is still available. The pouch is sold out, but you can still get the paper, and there are other bits and pieces. The rub-ons and so on are also still available on the website. So that is the paper pad, and these are the stamps. So I wanted to show you what I did. Excuse my squeaky chair. And of course, everything's on the floor. So what I do is I have set up my stamp platform, and I have stamped a whole bunch of pages. I do A4, and then I just hand stamped the 2 that didn't fit. So you can see there is the how it was, and then I added this one and that one just by hand onto all my papers, and then I used my brother's scan and cut. So I did my brother's scan and cut 2 ways. One where it cut right on the ink line, and one where it gave it a slight edge. So this is how I roll. I pre-stamp everything a few times, and then I get my brother to cut it out. Now, I chose to go with the VersaFine Clair Twilight, because in my mind, it looks, it's dark, almost like black, but it's the blue tone that I feel is more like a vintage tattoo. So for all my stamped images for tonight, I have used that. And where is my box? So let's just get out my box of tricks. The other thing I forgot to mention is with the die, I have actually made my own stamp. So this is cutting foam, very thick foam, and I made my own stamp. And here I inked it, stamped it, colored it, and there we have a nice background, all ready to go. And here's this cut out, so that can go in there. You know what I mean? You can build and play. Here's a repeat of that guy, so that would fit in there. So many different ways to use this die. It really, really is incredibly versatile. So yes, that's just this stamp that I made and coloring Yeah, the wallet is gone and won't come back, but you can buy the other add-ons. How accurate is your scan and cut when you cut right on the edge of the line? Because that's where I cut. So I'm about to show you that. Mine is very accurate. It does need some retweak at the moment because it gets shuffled around my studio quite a lot. But I wanted to show you on this one because it is the most detailed. Let's just take this out the way. So there we have the rose cut, in my mind, quite perfectly. It has cut slightly to that side, so it's gone closer onto that edge. But if I calibrate it, if I recalibrate it, it will cut perfectly. But I mean, I'm going to stick it on a card. This one's pretty good. It forgot to go in there on that one. And then this one is with the 2mm border. I really do. When I do my drawings specifically for Sarah, I always make sure that it is closed line artwork, so that it can be cut with the brother scan and cut. Or in the case of this guy, what I did is I just took my pencil and added. So I'm going to show you two different options here as well. There I cut him out the middle. So here I just drew a pencil line from that leaf and drew a wiggle up to there, and then a pencil line around that side. So those two landed up coming out differently because I did the same thing here. I've already erased the pencil line. My pencil line was in there. So I did the 2mm border all the way around that, and then still 2mm outside of my pencil line. So if I'd thought about it, I should have actually done the pencil line a little closer. But it still works. Teresa, you like fussy cutting, but when there's a lot to do, the brother is good to have. Yes, I don't like fussy cutting. I mean, I will if I have to, if I'm nowhere near my brother, but yeah, this just is such a game changer for me. Like this, I did fussy cut myself because I want to build a layer on top there with pop dots. So that is a future card. But for tonight, what I plan on doing is one of these collapsible box cards. I've already prepped the base, which is not difficult to do. It's a 6x12 piece of cardstock that I have scored just a 1/4 inch on the one side. And that's what you can see on the join over there. And then I folded it in and folded it again so that I now have my box. And then I have got 3 sides that drops down, and then I haven't folded that one because I want this as a solid back piece. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm using some leftovers that I am going to cut to finish off the front of the card and these sides over here. So now I need my cutting mat. Karen Uppert says it's relaxing, but I like the scan and cut for the day when your hands hurt and can't cut. Yes, well, I don't have hands that hurt, but I don't find it relaxing at all. I just want to get the job done so I can play and do the fun things. My friend David absolutely loves fussy cutting. I always threaten to send him mine. Okay, so we want 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. The nice thing is this paper is white on the other side, so I can mark it and cut. So 2 3/4. Hannah, you need to fetch your brother and use it because mine is across the room in my studio. That's why I land up having to calibrate it, but it's just such a game changer. So maybe you need to just do a batch of stamping, like I did 5 sheets of stamping, and then go and fetch your brother. So now we have a piece that fits there. Perfect. And as usual, we're going to ink it. Well, it is vintage ink paper, but we're going to add more ink to the vintage ink. So let's pop that on. So I'm just getting the base ready using some of the paper because it all matches. And then this is where I had cut the guy out. So I'm left with my roses at the top. So I'm going to do the same spacing. Let's see, can I get 2 3/4? Yes. So we'll do 2 3/4 down. 2 3/4. 2 3/4. Yes, then it is. I think Sarah wishes she had a crystal ball because one never knows what is going to be popular and what's not. So it is very hard to guess how much we need of stuff. You're quite right. 2 3/4 and so just making my top of my 2 side pieces. Oh, Peapod's just ordered 4 of the paper pads for party decorations and invites. Oh, what fun. I can't wait to see. I really can't. You've no idea how exciting it is for me as a designer to see how you guys use it. It just, there's something so special about, Sarah and I have our idea of how we would use it or why we even have discussed or decided to have this range, for example. But then when we see how you guys are using it, it just, yeah, it's awesome. So I'm just going to pop these 2 on. And then I'm going to make the 2 middle bits that are going to house my stamped images. So you can see how the papers work together. It's something that Sarah and I were quite, I was quite specific about. I needed to make sure that everything mixed and matched nicely. So there's my base. Okay, so it's going to go in the envelope like that, and then it'll open up like that. Now, I need 2 pieces that go across there, and I'm going to, oh, you can see I've been using them for inking. Oh, well, it'll be at the back. They won't see that. Right, what is this distance? This distance is 2 7/8. So now we need scoring tool, and I'm going to go with 1/2 inch. Score. And then we're going to go with 2 7/8. And we're going to fold that up. And then we're going to cut that off. So now I will have a piece that will fit inside like so, and hold my other pieces. Okay, so let's just see if this is enough. Perfect. What a good guess. Okay, so we're gonna score there. So yes, I see the chat is all about Sarah's guessing game as to how much stock to order and etc. Yes, I think her house looks like a warehouse of boxes. I know sometimes she says it's quite difficult to move down the passage. Luckily, her kids are at uni. Heaven help them when they come home. Okay, so I'm just trying to get that folded there like that. Let's just make sure that that fits. Okie dokie. Right, now we're going to glue that in place, and that can be drying while I color, because I have 15 minutes left to finish this card. Too much yakking. Yakety yak, but it's good yakety yak. I like showing you guys the versatility of things. So, right, I'm going to pop that in towards the front there like that, and then it's going to squish. Which way are going to make it? It's going to squish this way, so we want it to squish like that. Ta-da-da-da. There we go. And then we need to do the same on this one with some glue. We put this one further back over there, and it's gonna squish that way. Okay, so now I have my base, and it is ready to take my stamped images. So what am I going to use? I'm going to have a scratch. So this is what I do when I have been, so I've already been pre-coloring some of these. So I know that one says roses are red on blue, and then we have roses are red on red. Love never fails. I like that one also. And my love, because I'm planning love anchors the soul, be mine, forever true. Well, my husband is already mine, so that's kind of what I'm looking at using. So it's Valentines. So let's have a heart and the banner, and maybe I'm thinking of the birds. So I'm going to use the non-outlined bird for that one. And now I need his little matching friend. You've never made one of these cards. I do love construction. Oh, your lives are not chaos, Sarah. Your lives are just fine. It's just I wanted to show a lot. So yes, I did prep quite a bit. So now we can have our birdies holding a banner. So we haven't got an anchor in this one, so we won't use that. Roses are red, or my love. I like this one's color scheme with that paper, so I think we'll have my love, and the birdies can hold it like that. So they can hold it like that, or it can go on their wings, depending on where I put them. Okay, so we need to color them, and we need that, and let's have a rose. Now, for stability, do I want the rose with the white, or shall I just take a chance and have this one? No, we'll use that one. Right, so let's get coloring. Push back and clear. So we'll pop that over there. So you see, love anchors the soul can go with this one. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to show you is, so on this set, the words are already shaped to fit here, but on this set, you can just shape the word. So that's this one on your acrylic block, and then it will also fit. So just because it's straight, it can actually be manipulated to fit. So I did want to just point that out. And any of the phrases will fit. So there we go. Let's get coloring. And I'm going to use Tim's pencil crayons. I'm going to use a bit of the orange on the rose, and I'm going to use that on the heart. So I'm going to start with the orange, and these are watercolor pencil crayons. So they are really easy to color in with, and you don't have to be terribly perfect. I do like building the colors, so I work from light to dark. So I'm literally just putting the color down. I'm going to grab my water brush. I'm going to get the color going. And then I'm going to work directly from this, and I'm going to add the shading down below. Because if I'm doing that one, that's how I did that. And then this one, I just had a whole lot more red. I'm going to leave the banner quite orange. Okay, now let's activate the color on the rose. And then add the shading. Yes, Lynn, watercolor does hide a multitude of sins, does it not? When I'm doing actual watercolors, I have to remember when to stop, because I can get a little overzealous, because I like working with acrylics, and I forget that white is not a paint color and you have to leave the paper white. But I do try and remember that. We'll make it nice and dark in the middle. And darker over there, darker under there. I think that's enough. Right. Now I need to clean my brush. Where's my paper towel? Okay, so Hannah, I have just bought myself a set of alcohol markers. I used to use them for college, and they were not my favorite, because paper for alcohol markers is so important. Sorry, I just saw my naughty brother did miss this little piece of cutting. So much for relying on technology. There we go. You need to go. Call incoming. Okay, bye, Sarah. Yes, I agree. I want to see lots of collapsible cards in the group, not just flat cards in future. Thank you. I agree. Right, let's just I want some yellow wings. I haven't done the birdies yet. I know. And I've got 5 minutes. 5 minutes. The race is on, people. The race is on. I'm going to put a little bit of yellow in the leaves to link up. just here and there, and then the rest I'm going to do green. And I need a sort of a dusty green. Oh dear. Let's have a look, see what dusty green do I want. Bundled sage, bundled sage. Where is? That's myrtle, old paper. Field paint. Forest moss. Where's bundled sage? Do I have more? Yes, I do. Bundled sage. There we go. So that's why I did myself a swatch chart, because that definitely helps when you are needing to match colors. So, and let's do the birdies bundled sage as well. So they will match the paper. Are the crayons the same colors as the Distress ink, Hannah? They are very close. It's one of the reasons why I decided to get the full set, because I use a lot of the Distress ink for coloring, as you saw on this card. So I use the Distress for a lot of things, for the edging and so on. So it is nice if you can match up your colors. So they, as with all things, when it comes to different products in different medium bases, because of the nature of the pencil base, it is different to the oxide base. It is different to the Distress ink base. I would say most of these are closer to the Distress ink than the oxide, depending. So now we are going to do the yellow on the wings. I do have other watercolors, as I was using earlier. I have the Rembrandt, the Lyra Rembrandt set. I have a few different sets, depending on what I'm doing. So I'm going to blend that yellow out into the bundled sage a little bit more. If you want your colors a bit darker, you can color into the wet paper. So where I want it darker, because this bundled sage is not very dark at all, but I'm going to just press a little harder and get a little bit more color off with the damp paper now, and that will definitely make it darker. There we go. So this is probably going to be on my background over there. Yeah, that stands out quite nicely. And you can see I'm still inking. If I wasn't doing a live, I'd probably be a little bit more patient with that. Let's bring some shading in on the wing over there. And some rightio. We need to give the birds a lick of water. Oh, there's my water running out. No, there it is. Give my birds a bath. going to leave the head quite pale so that that pops out, gives it a bit more dimension. So what I forgot to say is that our Sarah's giving a bundle giveaway to, it's the vintage ink bundle and the ropey bundle for this evening. So we'll just go over by a few minutes as I glue this in place. I'm not sure who is in the chat to be able to pick a winner. I didn't think of that. I'll have to get Sarah to do a lucky draw. So now I want to let's clear the decks. Come, Mr. Sailor Man. You are not on this card, and the roses were not finished. Push back and clear. Push back and clear. Right, so let's see what all we can squish into this card. We have an escapee. That I want at the back to link everything up. So I'm going to glue that there. Ding, ding, ding. These are pencil crayons, but they are very smooth. I'm working on slightly textured paper. This is watercolor. I'm working on the back of watercolor cardstock. Okay, so there we have my rose. Now, are we going to have, so we're going to have the heart, maybe here at the front, can maybe stick up there. Trying to work out, so it's going to collapse this way, so I can have my bird there, or in fact I can have this bird here. Right, we're going to have that bird there. So he goes at the front. And I'm folding it to make sure that it doesn't go outside the card there. Hello, Sandra. Yes, this is a 1/4 inch score over here. It's Selena, it was 12 by 6 inches, and it's scored at 3 inches over there. And then if you want to stay on a bit longer, I can show you a quick version of this, but let's have Love anchors the soul, perhaps from his wing, and then we can have the bird flying this way. How about that? Because, okay, so because we have space going that way, I'm going to put glue over here, and I'm going to pop this behind his wing. And then we need this bird over here, so we can have him doing that. Right, so he will get glue over there. Did that come undone? How rude. This is why I like doing these, because you can really get them quite magically dimensional. I didn't actually build this on the live, Selena. So I will just do it quickly because it is not measured out. So I'm just having to re-glue this bird in place over here. So I'm just making sure that that all stays within the card frame. So when the card is in the envelope, you don't see anything sticking out. Okay, so I'm just going to wait for that to dry. And then, Ray, is that behaving? No, that is still needing help. Okay, so I'm going to have to pop a piece of cardstock behind Mr. Bird to help him behave. So I'm just going to, that should be enough. I've got a lot of weight hanging on a very little piece of bird. So we need to just assist Mr. Bird from behind. Oh, did I just put that glue down? It's like buttered toast. Of course it went glue down. Now it's sticking to... Okay, fine. Add more glue. Comedy of errors. Right, we're going to put the Band-Aid at the back of Mr. Bird. Try that again. Come, Mr. Bird. You're really on misbehaving. Naughty birdie is trying to fly away quite. Now his Band-Aid is sticking out, but now his Band-Aid is holding. Yay! I think what the problem was is his tail keeps catching. I can just trim that extra piece of Band-Aid away over there. Love anchors the soul. And I can put this over here or at the back. Let's have that at the back. Over there. I know you won't see a lot of it, but these cards are all about adding the extra layers. And I'm going to put this one in front of the rose there. There we go. So we have some wings and more wings. And I can have more words over here. I think that's enough. I actually think that's enough. Only this needs some black ink to match everything else. And now I'm going to do a quick demo of how I made the card base, because it's really not difficult. So there we have our collapsible card. And all you need is, you don't even really need a scoreboard, but it's easier for this piece, really just a piece. She says, flying across her studio just to try and find a come on, I need a... Okay, we'll just cut a piece quickly. We have more, and I do like making them, so it's not wasted. So I just need to get a 6-inch piece. Swing. Now I have 6 by 12 and so I do a 1/4 inch over there, all the way down, like so. Then you fold to, so it's already folded, so now you fold to where you're going to glue it. Like so. Take off this. Oh, we won't bother with that now. And then the next one, you're going to fold into that fold there. Put this out the way now because I literally don't need it anymore. So we fold into that fold. And then we take this fold and we bend it into that fold. So it doesn't actually matter what size piece of paper you have. This is the technique that I use. So you could have a completely different size piece of paper. Now, for this one, I scored all the way along, but I didn't bend this one. Normally what I do is I would only score the first 3. So pop it back on the scoreboard. And I'm going to score at 3, because that's half, down to the last one, and I'm not going to score there. And then you need a cutting knife and a ruler. And what I do is because now that's bent, I bump my ruler into that edge. I cut from the 3-inch mark up. And do the same here. So this is my cheat method. Then here what I do is I first line my ruler up with the 3-inch score and I chop that bit away. Then I do the same thing, line my ruler up with the fold and I cut away, do that point. And then pop your glue on this little teeny tiny piece over here. Fold it in half and done. Yes, it beats the heck out of having to measure every section. So that's why I actually do these a lot. The only measuring you then have to do, so now I'm going to fold these back, leaving that one up. You could have a collapsible on all 4, absolutely. And I do that sometimes, but I decided at the last minute that I didn't want that for this card I did this evening. The only measuring you have to do then is what is this distance here, so that when you make your inserts, they fit. And then I always collapse my card the same way. So I always collapse it the way that where the join is. So on this one, my join is at the back, and on this one, my join is at the front. So this card is going to collapse that way, and this card collapses the other way. So then when I'm building it, I just keep making sure that my card collapses easily. So yes, there we go. 2 cards for tonight. Hope you enjoyed that live. We went a little bit over, and I will speak to Sarah about choosing winners, because I don't have a one of those things, and I don't think our intrepid leader is in the house to do the to do the live pick. But yes, there will be 2 winners from tonight's live. We will let you know. So thanks to all of you for coming to watch. Let's just do I've run out of space even to push back and clear. How about that? You can still see all my chaos at the top. So yes. Thank you, everybody, for coming to watch. And Sarah will see you next Wednesday on Why Not Wednesday. And then, of course, don't forget, she has every Sunday, she has a video for you to watch. So see you soon. Bye for now.